So I'm sure we've all taught text structure like this at some point. You find the word, you match it to the text structure, and you move on. But here's a problem with that in middle school. Text structure just becomes a word hunt, and we don't see it as a way to aid in comprehension of the text that we're reading. And because some of those same words show up in different structures, or sometimes they don't show up at all, it turns this into a guessing game. And didn't really see much improvement in reading comprehension using this method. And I think one of the reasons that text structure is difficult for students is that it's just natural. It's just part of the experience of reading. So I liken it to, I say this to my students, when you're driving down like a nicely fresh paved road, you're just worried about your destination. You're not worried about the structure of the road itself. It's just the mechanism to get you where you want to go. And that's like text structure when we're reading. We don't even a lot of times notice the text structure that the author's using it because it just is an experience that we are having as we read that's guiding us to the end into understanding the text. But we want students to understand that it can be used as a tool for when we get to a part of a text that we don't understand. And so when we get to these parts of text that we don't understand, we're not just going to say, oh, what is the text structure here? Now we're going to say, what's the author doing here? I'm having a hard time understanding. What is the author doing in this part of the text? Are they explaining what something is like using details? Are they explaining a problem and ways to fix it? And once I identify what the author is doing in this part of the text, and then I can ask, why would they be doing this? And then I can go and identify the text structure. So instead of giving students like a short blurb and having them answer, what is the text structure? And then say why and with a signal word. We want to make it better. We want to say, what is the author doing? Why would the author be doing this? And then naming this structure the last. The naming is actually the least important part. It's going to do the least in clarifying that confusing part of the reading. The what and the why and the how is the most important to aid comprehension. So, the purpose behind learning text structure is so we can get our readers to this what the author is doing, naming that. Why would the author be doing that? Can that help us lead readers to the main idea? And then naming the structure last. So we want to clue students in that text structure isn't something we notice all the time, but it's something we return to when our understanding gets bumpy to aid in our comprehension.